Let me tell you about a secret for thousands of years. In Nebraska, a farmer is harvesting 80,000 pounds of a berry that laboratory tests show can reduce cancer cell growth by 60% in 24 hours. It contains 3 times the antioxidant power of blueberries and 4 times that of the grapes used in premium red wine. What makes this remarkable is that it is not illegal and has grown wild across North America for more than 10,000 years, yet almost no one recognizes it today. Its name is Aronia melanocarpa. If you would like to understand why this matters, please subscribe and continue listening. Long before European settlement, the Potawatomi people of the eastern forest relied on Aronia melanocarpa for survival. They used it when children had fevers, when injuries became infected, and when food was scarce. It was not a delicacy, it was medicine. In 1904, Russian botanist Ivan Vladimirovich Michurin noticed large fruited chokeberries among imported American plants. He spent more than 3 decades breeding them, reducing bitterness, increasing yield, and hardening them for Siberian winters. While the United States built its blueberry industry, Russia transformed this abandoned native plant into a survival crop known as black rowan. By 1946, the Soviet Union officially recognized Aronia as a fruit crop. By 1984, over 17,800 hectares were under cultivation, feeding the Soviet North. In the West, however, the plant survived mainly as decoration. In 1972, Britain's Royal Horticultural Society honored it not for nutrition, but for autumn foliage. Walk into any American grocery store and you'll see blueberries marketed everywhere as the ultimate superfood. Good for your brain, good for your heart, fights cancer. And you know what nobody told you about what's even better? Scientists used a test called oxygen radical absorbance capacity, measures how well a food can protect your cells from damage before its antioxidants are used up. The result is that Aronia delivers more than 3 times the antioxidant power of blueberries, and nearly double that of cranberries. Contains 4 times more of these protective compounds than the grapes used in premium red wine, with no alcohol, no hangover, and no cost. Just half a cup of fresh Aronia provides nearly 4 times the anthocyanins found in the same amount of blueberries. The same pattern appears with cranberry compounds that support bladder and gut health. Aronia contains 5 to 10 times more of these protective substances than cranberries. But numbers alone do not explain its importance. When researchers exposed human colon cancer cells to Aronia, extract cancer growth dropped by 60% within 24 hours, significantly outperforming blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries. In clinical studies in Poland, adults with high blood pressure drank less than 1 cup of Aronia juice daily. After 12 weeks, their blood pressure dropped by amounts comparable to common prescription medications. In those same Polish clinical studies, published in the European Journal of Nutrition, Aronia juice reduced oxidized LDL cholesterol by 25% after 12 weeks. That's the dangerous type of cholesterol that directly contributes to clogged arteries and heart disease. 25% reduction, no side effects, no prescription, no monthly pharmacy visits. Let me explain how this actually works in your body. Every single day, your body produces molecules called free radicals. Think of them like tiny bullets bouncing around inside your cells, damaging your DNA, your proteins, your cell membranes. This process is called oxidative stress, and it's the root cause of aging and most chronic diseases. Everything from wrinkles to cancer to Alzheimer's disease. Antioxidants are like bodyguards that catch those bullets before they hit. Aronia contains a specific type of anthocyanin called cyanidin-3 galactoside. When scientists at Michigan State University tested it, they found it has the strongest free radical scavenging ability of any naturally occurring anthocyanin they'd measured. That's why after the Chernobyl nuclear disaster on April 26, 1986, Soviet doctors turned to Aronia berries to treat people exposed to radiation. Radiation creates massive oxidative stress. The medical teams needed the most powerful antioxidant protection they could find. They used Aronia extensively because 3 decades of Soviet research had proven it was more effective at protecting cells from oxidative damage than anything else they had access to. So what happened? How does the most powerful antioxidant berry on the continent completely disappear from the place where it originally came from? The disappearance started in the 1800s with one of the darkest chapters of American history. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 forced the Potawatomi and other tribes off their ancestral lands. Families that had lived in these forests for thousands of years were scattered across unfamiliar territories. The European settlers who took over those lands saw the chokeberry bushes growing wild. They tried the fruit exactly once. Remember what that Potawatomi elder told Huron Smith in 1933, "We eat them, but they are entirely too bitter to suit the white man." He wasn't exaggerating. When you bite into a fresh Aronia berry, the tannins immediately bind to the proteins in your saliva. Your whole mouth goes completely dry. It's an overwhelming puckering sensation, like all the moisture just vanishes from your mouth. It feels like it's choking you. It's not dangerous, it's just intensely unpleasant. By the early 1900s, American farmers and botanists were trying to turn wild berries into commercial crops. To do that, they had to make practical choices. Blueberries made those choices easy. They were naturally sweet. People could eat them fresh, right off the bush. They required no special processing, no explanation, and no education. Even the name blueberry sounded pleasant and familiar. In 1916, Elizabeth White and scientist Frederick Coville introduced Rubel, the first blueberry variety, bred specifically for commercial farming. It grew reliably, tasted good, and could be sold immediately to the public. The American blueberry industry took off. Compared to that, Aronia was a problem. It was bitter. It was not meant to be eaten fresh. It required processing patience and explanation, three things the early food market had no interest in. So farmers chose the berry that sold itself, and the one that didn't was left behind. And when marketing quietly shaped our understanding of healthy food, blueberries were presented as wholesome, all-American, safe, and familiar. Meanwhile, Aronia remained categorized as an ornamental plant sold for its flowers and fall colors, not its nutritional value. And once a food is framed that way, public perception rarely questions it. In fact, Aronia doesn't need pesticides. Not needs very little. The same tannins that make it taste bitter make it completely unpalatable to insects. Bugs won't touch it. Fungal diseases that devastate blueberries and strawberries can't get established on Aronia. You plant it, and it takes care of itself. Even it doesn't need synthetic fertilizers either. Thrives in poor soil. Its root system is deep enough and efficient enough that it finds what it needs. After the first year of establishment, you don't need to feed it anything. Of course, a berry that takes complete care of itself for 30 years from a single $50 purchase, that doesn't fit the business model at all. Yet despite all of that, despite 2 centuries of neglect, misnaming, and marginalization, the berry never truly disappeared. Today, you can walk through forests, from Minnesota south to Georgia, from the Appalachian Mountains east to the Atlantic coast, and you'll find them growing wild. Along stream banks and wet meadows and forest edges, the plants don't care that we forgot about them. They just keep growing. In present, Poland produces roughly 44,000 metric tons of Aronia every year and has built an entire export industry around it. Juice concentrates, freeze-dried powders, supplement extracts, even natural food coloring for beverages generating more than $50 million annually. And the largest buyer of these products is the United States. That's the absurd part. Americans are paying $15, $20, even $25 for small bags of imported Aronia powder, while the same berry grows wild in their own forests and sits unsold on American farms. But quietly, almost unnoticed, that imbalance is starting to shift. And here's what nobody anticipated when this renaissance began. Climate change is creating conditions where Aronia can live strongly. It requires cold winters to fruit properly, so late frosts don't matter. It flowers late and avoids spring, kill entirely. Its roots grow 6 to 8 feet deep, so drought doesn't stop it. The same compounds that make it bitter make it naturally resistant to insects and fungal disease. That's why it survived 10,000 years of unpredictable weather before modern farming existed. And that's why it works now, as modern farming becomes unstable. So let's get practical. If you're looking for wild Aronia in your area, here's exactly what to watch for. It's a deciduous shrub, meaning it loses its leaves in winter, typically growing 5 to 8 feet tall and equally wide. In mid-May, it produces clusters of small white flowers, each about half an inch across, with 5 petals and distinctive pink stamens in the center. By late August through September, those flower clusters transform into bunches of dark purple blackberries, each about the size of a large pea, maybe a quarter to a third of an inch in diameter. The berries are ripe when they're fully dark purple-black and slightly soft to gentle pressure. If they're still hard and reddish, they're not ready yet. Now here's the single most important thing I'm going to tell you about using Aronia, and I need you to take this seriously. Do not eat fresh Aronia berries straight off the bush. They're extremely astringent and mouth-drying. Wait until they're fully ripe, or better yet, lightly processed, and the harshness softens while the benefits stay intact. The easiest way to use Aronia is to juice it. Run the berries through a juicer or food mill, or mash them and strain the liquid. Don't drink it straight. Sweeten it, then dilute it. Add honey, maple syrup, or sugar to taste, and mix 1 part Aronia juice with about 3 parts apple juice or water. That's the simplest way to make it drinkable and effective, that the healing compounds still stay completely. For long-term storage, you can make a concentrated syrup. Keep for 3 to 4 months in the refrigerator, or up to a year if you freeze it in ice cube trays. Another excellent option is drying them at 135 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 to 18 hours until they're leathery but still slightly pliable like raisins. If you want to grow Aronia yourself instead of foraging, keep this simple. First, buy real cultivars from a nursery, not generic chokeberry. If health benefits matter most, choose Viking. If you want juice yield, choose Nero. If you want the least bitterness, Mackenzie. That's it. Plant in early spring or early fall space bushes 6 to 8 feet apart, give them sun, and keep the soil reasonably moist the first year. After that, Aronia takes care of itself. A mature Aronia bush produces 15 to 20 pounds of berries every year for decades, with no fertilizer, no pesticides, no spraying, and almost no maintenance beyond harvest. One $50 bush quietly produces hundreds of pounds of the most antioxidant-dense berries on Earth. When you choose Aronia, you're not following a trend. You're ahead of one. Almost nobody understands why this berry matters. It's one of the few health advantages that actually compounds. Plant it once, and year after year, you get something that supports your heart, your blood sugar, your inflammation levels, without paying again, without refills, without chasing the next trend. You're building real, practical resilience for your family. If you want to learn more about forgotten foods like Aronia, about the plants and knowledge systems we abandoned in the rush toward industrial convenience, subscribe to this channel. The Aronia story isn't unique. It's just the beginning.